Hi, it's Tracey Hanbury here from the National Landlord Investment Show. We're here today at Old Billingsgate on the 5th of July on what is an absolutely gorgeous day today. Absolutely delighted, as always, to be joined by Andrew Neal, who hosts. Andrew, it's actually been with us for six huge events so far and has hosted the panel debates for us, which always kick off the day to a lively start and lots of topical information.
Lots of topics today, yeah.
So, and to give us a little, obviously the topic was pain-free property journey, and what was the general consensus?
I mean, the purpose of the panel was to get some experts to tell the audience how to, these are difficult times, so how to improve efficiency, how to digitize the operation more, how to be generally just more proficient to run it as a business. Because a lot of people became accidental landlords and they need to work out how to do that. That was useful, particularly in these times. But I thought overall it was interesting that both the panel and the audience, a clear majority of them thought, despite all the rules and regulations and the difficulties, this is a good time to be a landlord. It's a good time to be in the business. Property values have been rising fast, even during COVID, and rents have been strong, and the rental sector, the private rental sector is strong. Returns are actually pretty good. So overall, it was a positive picture.
Yeah, there were some great questions as well. I mean, obviously, as running it as part of the business, I think we had a really good representation there. We had legal, we had tax advice, we had a bit of economy.
And the letting agencies and so on.
Hamptons, and of course, that was a good representation. I think sometimes, being a landlord, it can be quite a daunting experience and you could be quite on your own. So I think sort of come to something like today and have that wealth of information. But I did feel that it was a very positive vibe in what's been, it's been a difficult couple of years for everybody, hasn't it?
I think, obviously the COVID was hard for all of us, not least the landlord sector as well, and tenants too. And there are a lot of, headwinds. I mean, there seem to be a never-ending stream of government rules and regulations coming in, some designed to make the whole business more professional. That's who can complain about that. I think the government wants to consolidate the sector a bit more and have fewer bigger landlds on the business, because the private rented sector has become so important to our housing policy now. But of course, if you're a big business, if you're a big landlord, you can take that in your stride, or you have the resources. If you've got one or two or three properties, it's more difficult to do that. And I think there was a lot of good advice for that kind of landlord today over what to do. But I thought rather than some of the regulations they clearly don't like, I can understand why that's the case, but they weren't daunted. I didn't think they were daunted. I thought that they think, yeah, we'll have to live with this. The woman who said that she'd been in the gambling business, it was now much more regulated. It had made it a better business, she said. And she thought that would be the message that the private rented sector should take away too. So I thought there was all to play for. And what I tried to do towards the end was, although when you look at interest rates rising, and they are, and you look at the level of inflation, which is about the worst for 30 years, it doesn't mean these things will be forever. We're going through a transition period, and maybe by this time next year, maybe before this time next year, interest rates will have stopped rising and inflation will be falling again. So I think what they're trying to get in their mind is, how do we get through the next year, which will be a difficult year. There'll be a demand for rents to rise. Everything else is rising. The cost of capital is rising too with higher interest rates. How do we get through that? How do we make ourselves more efficient? How do we bring digital technology to our aid? How do we deal with our tenants at that time? Because if we can get all that right, it isn't going to be bad forever.
No, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, I think we had a packed auditorium today, around 300 people in that audience, but for those that may not have been here today at the live show, then they can actually obviously watch that seminar, that panel debate, which I think would be really important.
Well, it's packed with information, and it's not just, general talk about interest rates or general talk about inflation. I thought there was a lot of very specific advice from our panel of experts about how to make their businesses more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those that didn't see that, you can actually reference that through our website, which will be sort of on there in the next sort of couple of days. Our website address is all the W's, landlordinvestmentshow.co.uk. If you click onto the London Billingsgate event and click onto the panel debate this morning, which Andrew hosted, then you can obviously watch that again in the comfort of your own home. But Andrew, thank you so much as always.
It's a pleasure. It's good. Always learn something by
Absolutely.
coming to these events.
And we've got you back in November here, back in London, so we're looking forward to that. And great to have you back on board with us, and we'll see you
pleasure.
soon.
See you in the autumn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.